Welcome everyone to Nuggets from the Bible. Today is the 1st of August 2018. I'm wishing everyone a good month. The topic for this month is man's search for God. And this will be a 3-part series. The first part, which we'll be talking about today, will be on who we are. I know this is not a straightforward question and answer series, and so I'll be touching on the Bible to expand more on the topic. So, who are we? Whenever we ask someone who we are, the first thing they would say is their name, where they come from, what they do, or how many children they have, or perhaps how many siblings they have, where they live, etc. So we more or less associate who we are from our physical being or what we have. But the question really lies, is this our real self? In order to answer this question, we'd go to the Bible, to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. Going over to Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Again, if we move to John chapter 4, verse 27, it says, God is spirit. So those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So if God created us, like it says in the Bible, which I'm sure most people believe, which I believe myself, that God created us, and it tells us also in the Bible that we had life from the breath which he gave to us. And again, he's telling us in the Bible that God is spirit. And he created us in his own image and likeness. So if God is spirit, God created us, gave us life, created us in his own image and likeness. So that therefore means that we are spirits. Again, this is how we know we live in him and he in us. He has given us of his spirit. 1 John 4:13. Galatians 5:25 says, since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. So, if it is the Spirit who gives life, the flesh profits nothing. The words that I have spoken to you are spirit and are of life, straight from the Bible. So in other words, our real self is spirit. I went into spirituality over a year ago, but before then, I was not really aware of communication with the spirit or what our real self is. Because growing up, we always saw things as physical. Like I said earlier, when we are asked who we are, we always talk about our on a personal level. For instance, people ask, who am I? My name is Neville Anozia. I'm from XXX. I have how many siblings? I work as XYZ. But it never really occurred to me who my real self is until over a little bit of a year ago, when I started going down into the line of spirituality. And then it occurred to me that really our real self is spirit. A couple of months ago, I lost my dad. And the one thing that kept going through my mind was, this is really just a confirmation of the fact that we are spirits. Because seeing my dad lying there in the mortuary, his body's there, his leg is there, his hands are there, everything is there. The only thing that is not there, that he's not alive, is the spirit, is life, the life which God has given to us. The life which we have, which is spirit, is not there. So my dad is not alive. So basically, if he had been weighed a few seconds before he died and weighed after, the only difference would have been that the spirit was gone. But his weight, I'm sure, would have been the same. Because the spirit in us is life. As it says in Genesis that God breathed life into us from dust and we became humans. So if that life is not there, if that spirit is not there, then we're dead. There is no life. So our real self is not the physical self that we see ourselves to be, but our real self is the spirit, which is life, which is in us. Now, like I said, this is a 3-part series of wanting to understand man's search for God, who we are, and really who God is. From this part, we've come to understand that God is spirit. God created us in his own image and likeness. And therefore, because he's spirit, he creating us in his own image and likeness, we are therefore spirits. So something to ponder about. I know it took me a long time to get to understand this, and it will be for a lot of people who are not spiritually minded. But as we go along in the series, we will come to understand from reading the Bible and trying to ponder about things, the real life situations, and we begin to see that our real self, really, who we think we are, the John Smith, the Neville Nausea, or the whatever it is that we call ourselves, are not our real selves. Our real selves are real spirit within us. Very hard to detect. For some people, it takes them years. For some people, they never get to know who their spirit is. They never really get to differentiate themselves, the body, the soul, and the spirit. But hopefully, as we get along in the series, it might be slightly clearer to you. Thank you so much for listening. Share this, comment, and I will see you very soon for the next series. Take care. God bless.